The story begins at an airport. We see a pilot named Brodie rushing towards the plane while talking to his daughter on a video call. His daughter tells him that she saw the news this morning which said the weather is very bad in the area he's flying to, and many other flights have been cancelled because of it. She asks him to cancel his flight and come home. Brodie smiles and replies that he has flown safely many times in such weather before, so she shouldn't worry and he will be home soon. Hearing this, his daughter gets happy and hangs up. Brodie then enters the plane's cabin and meets the co-pilot. The co-pilot was a bit nervous as it was his first time flying a plane. Suddenly, a flight attendant calls Brodie out. A police officer informs Brodie that due to an emergency, he will have to take a murderer named Tony along with him. Tony is a very powerful and dangerous man accused of murder, and he is now being taken to another country by plane to be imprisoned for life. The police officer tells Brodie they are entrusting him with this responsibility because he is a capable and sensible pilot. Brodie agrees and seats Tony in the very last seats so that the other passengers aren't bothered. After all the passengers are seated, Brodie confirms with the plane staff that everyone is on board, and the plane takes off. Upon reaching altitude, Brodie sets the plane to autopilot and starts talking to the co-pilot about his family. Brodie shows the co-pilot a photo of his daughter on his phone and says he loves her very much, and they only have each other in this world. On the other side, the passengers on board were enjoying the flight, unaware that something very bad was about to happen to them soon. Both pilots in the cabin were also happy, and the plane was flying normally. But then the weather suddenly turned bad, and the plane began to shake slightly. Brodie gets worried because something didn't feel right. He announces for all passengers to fasten their seatbelts and tries to contact the control tower via radio, but he can't get through because the bad weather has caused all the radios to stop working. Suddenly, a strong lightning strike hits the plane, causing it to shake violently. Brodie leaves the cabin to check on the passengers. He feels somewhat relieved to see that all the passengers were safe. However, the lights were slowly going out, and the plane takes several more jolts. Brodie's head hits the ceiling, and he falls down, injuring his forehead. Seeing this situation, all the passengers became distressed. Brodie quickly returns to the cabin and joins his co-pilot to try and control the plane. This was a very difficult time for them. Due to the bad weather, they couldn't see anything ahead. Brodie says they need to lower the plane's altitude, because if it takes one more jolt, the plane could be destroyed. They immediately start reducing the altitude, and the plane rapidly descends. The passengers inside the plane were terrified. Suddenly, the police officer accompanying the criminal Tony drops his mobile phone. To pick it up, he unbuckles his seatbelt. A flight attendant also unbuckles her seatbelt and comes forward to help him. Because the plane was descending rapidly, as soon as their seatbelts were undone, both of them were violently thrown up, hitting the ceiling, and they die instantly. At this moment, the plane reaches a very low altitude, and the two pilots manage to regain control of it somehow. But the plane didn't have much power left, so Brodie couldn't make it to an airport. Because of this, Brodie thinks about making a crash landing in the sea. But then they spot an island in the distance. Brodie changes the plane's direction towards the island and decides to land there. After many difficulties, Brodie finally makes an emergency landing on a road located on the island. Luckily, all passengers were safe, and no one was injured in the emergency landing. Just then, there's a short circuit at the back of the plane, which makes Brodie happy, as it means there was still some electricity left in the plane. After all the passengers have disembarked, a flight attendant tells Captain Brodie that the police officer accompanying the criminal Tony has died, and another flight attendant has also been killed. Brodie becomes very sad hearing this. Meanwhile, the owner of the airline company notices that one of his planes has suddenly gone missing because he hadn't seen it land, and due to the radio being out of order for a long time, he couldn't contact the pilot. So, the airline owner calls a rescue expert named Gaspare, who specializes in finding people stranded in difficult situations. The airline owner tells him that he needs all the details of his plane, such as where it went, and where his workers and all the passengers are. The rescue expert immediately begins his work. On the other side, all the passengers were wondering why they landed here. Brodie gathers them all and explains that they had to land here due to an emergency. He assures them that there is still some power in the plane, which they will use to fix other things. He tells them to stay comfortable and not to worry, saying they will get out of there soon. Brodie then goes to the plane and starts trying to fix it. But he realizes the plane's power is very low, so they will have to wait for help. They take out a map and try to determine their location themselves to find out where they are. Brodie's co-pilot partner looks at the map and says that they are stranded on a private island. This place is very dangerous. There are people here who do not listen to any government. If these people catch them, their lives could be in danger, and the government wouldn't be able to save them. Hearing this, Brodie says they must somehow call their rescue team here so they can come and save everyone, as it's the only way out. They both start fixing the radio to call for help, but it was completely destroyed by the lightning strike. Brodie then goes to the passengers and tells them the radio isn't working due to a malfunction, but assures them not to worry. Brodie comforts them, saying that they will go to the other side of the island to find a radio, tell the control tower their location, and ask them to send a rescue team to save them all. Brodie then takes a very big step. He says that Tony will go with him. Saying this, he unlocks Tony's handcuffs. Brod tells the co-pilot to get to work repairing the plane's power. He says he will try to get the rescue team there through any contact he can make. After this, Tony and Brod head towards the jungle to look for a radio. On the way, Tony thanks Brod for trusting him. Now we see the terrorist group residing on this island. A man runs up to them and tells the group's leader that a plane had to land on the island due to an emergency, and there are many people inside from different countries. Hearing this, the group's leader gives the man some money and tells his team to get ready. In the island jungle, Brod and Tony are moving forward. Tony asks Brod why he freed him and where he is taking him now. Brod tells him that he can't put everyone in danger because of him, and there is a dangerous terrorist group here, which Tony needs to face with him. Tony then tells Brod that he has a military background and has served in the US military for many years. After a while, Tony's voice stops coming from behind. When Brod turns around, Tony is not there. He had escaped from Brod. Brod now continues into the jungle alone. Moving deeper into the jungle, Brod enters an abandoned factory where he finds a telephone. But the old-fashioned phone was broken. Brod then starts connecting the wires of the telephone on the side, and the telephone starts working. Brod quickly calls the company's helpline. Brod tells the helpline his location and everything, but due to some line trouble, his voice wasn't reaching the person on the other end properly. So the helpline people cut Brod's call. Then Brod gets an idea. He calls his daughter and asks her to write down his location and all the other details on a piece of paper and deliver it to his office. Just then, a man comes from behind during the conversation and attacks Brod. But Brod manages to overpower him with great difficulty and beats the man until he is unconscious. Brod then feels that another man is entering the room. So he quickly hides. But that man was none other than Tony, who had killed many thugs and taken their weapons. He calls out to Brod, saying not to be afraid and to come out. When Brod comes out, Tony gives him a gun for his protection. When they both come down to the lower floor of the factory, they find a camera there. The camera recordings and passports lying there reveal that the terrorists living on this island kidnap people and demand a large sum of money from their families. And even when they receive the money from the kidnapped person's family, they kill them instead of releasing them. Seeing this, Brod realizes that their passengers are also in danger. After this, they both go outside and see a car. This car belonged to the terrorist who Brod had killed a little while ago. Now both of them get into the car parked outside and start driving towards their passengers. On the other side, all the passengers were waiting for Brod to bring help soon. Suddenly, they hear the sound of a car. Hearing the car, they get happy and think that Brod has called a rescue team for them. But these were not a rescue team, but the terrorists living on the island. They start shooting to scare all the passengers. Brod and Tony also hear the sound of the gunfire. After that, they increase the speed of the car and try to reach the plane quickly. The terrorist group leader asks a flight attendant for the list of all passengers. Out of fear, the flight attendant quickly brings him the list. Then a man from the gang asks the co-pilot where his senior pilot is. The co-pilot tells him that he went into the jungle for some work but hasn't returned yet. Just then, Brod and Tony also arrive there, but they were silently watching them from a distance. During this, a woman tries to run away. But they shoot and kill her. Seeing this, Brod goes to help them. But Tony stops him and says to stay calm, it's not the right time to go. The gang leader puts all the passengers on a bus and tells his two companions he's leaving behind to go inside the plane and bring all the valuable things. After this, they start taking all the passengers to their hideout. After the gang leaves, Brod gets angry at Tony for letting them take their passengers and for stopping him from going. Tony explains that they were too many people. Even if Brod had gone, he wouldn't have been able to fight such a large army alone. Now both of them start moving toward the plane and catch the two thugs who were stealing valuable items from the plane. Brod asks them at gunpoint where their leader might have taken the passengers. He replies that they have a hideout some distance from here, and they must have all gone there. On the other side, Brod's daughter gives the piece of paper written by Brod, which contained the plane's location and all the information, to the rescue expert. The rescue expert uses satellite help to find the plane's location. They find out that the plane is stranded on an island, and they also learn that there is a dangerous terrorist group on this island. After this, the rescue officer calls the captain of a private army of his and explains the whole situation, asking him to go to that island. The private army captain agrees and gets ready to go to the island, loading a bag full of money and several bags of weapons in the car with his companions. On the other side, Brod sees that before the terrorists took them, the plane's co-pilot had repaired the power system of the plane, and Brod sees that the plane's power is back. He becomes very happy seeing this. Brod then writes a message on his uniform for the arriving private army team and leaves with Tony for the place where the gang had taken all the plane passengers. Going through the jungle, they both reach the terrorist hideout. They get out of the car and quietly sneak into the place where all the thugs were scaring the passengers and making videos of them to send to their families to extort money. Meanwhile, the private team sent by the rescue expert also reaches the plane. But when they don't find anyone there, the team leader goes inside the plane to check. They find the bodies of two people. These were the two people the gang leader had told to steal all the valuable items from the plane, but Brod had killed them. The private team captain also finds the message left by Brod, which was a path to the terrorist gang's hideout. At the terrorist hideout, Tony and Brod were quietly keeping an eye on them, and as soon as they get a chance, they both sneak up from behind and kill 2 terrorists. Then they both quietly move forward and reach outside a room. All the passengers were imprisoned inside this room. Brod wanted to rescue these people, but there were many guards patrolling, and Brod didn't have the key to unlock the door. After this, they both kill the guards one by one, and Tony takes a hammer and kills many guards with it. Brod takes the key from a guard and frees the passengers from the room. He tells them to quickly get on the same bus the terrorists brought them in, and they all quickly board the bus. Suddenly, Tony comes to Brod and tells him that there is only one way to get out of here by car. But many thugs with guns are standing there, and they will start shooting as soon as they see them. When Brod looks at the passengers, they are all very scared. Now Brod decides to put his life in danger and tells Tony that he will distract all the terrorists there, and Tony should take advantage of the opportunity and take all the passengers out of there. At first, Tony refuses to let Brod do this. He says they will kill him if he does that. But Brod says they have no other choice. Hearing this, Tony agrees. Brod leaves and goes to the terrorists. Brod talks to the gang leader there, saying that he has informed for help, and a rescue team will arrive soon. Therefore, he tells them to let all the passengers go. Hearing this, all the gang members laugh at Brod and start beating him up. The gang leader says he won't let anyone go without money. And just as they are about to kill Brod, the private rescue team arrives there and attacks the terrorists. After a long exchange of gunfire, they kill many members of the gang and rescue Brod. They put Brod on the bus and leave from there. The gang leader sees that along with many of his companions, his younger brother has also been killed. Seeing this, he becomes furious and swears that he will not spare any of these people and will kill them all one by one. After this, he tells his team to get ready, saying they will leave soon to kill these people. In the bus, the private team captain tells everyone that they are just a small private team of 5 people who have come on a mission to rescue them, and they are not a rescue team. It will take some more time for the rescue team to arrive here. Hearing this, Brod gets nervous and says they don't have time because the gang members will soon follow them and kill them on sight. But he says he has an idea. Upon reaching the plane, Brod tells all the passengers that the plane's power is back, meaning the plane will start, and they will immediately leave from there. Therefore, he asks them all to quickly get into the plane because they cannot wait for the rescue team. It will take them time to arrive here, and if they stay here, they will be killed by the terrorists. Hearing this, everyone gets into the plane, while Brod starts doing all the plane checks, and the private team members sit ready for the danger that is coming. Suddenly, the terrorist group attacks them. Seeing them, the private team engages in stopping them, and there is heavy gunfire from both sides. But this private team had very good guns, so they kill many thugs. Brod quickly tells the private team leader that he's going to start the plane in the next 5 minutes, and they should all get on the plane quickly. After this, Brod goes to Tony and thanks him for helping him in his most difficult time. Brod protects himself from the bullets, enters the plane, sits in his cabin, and starts trying to start the plane with his co-pilot partner. Meanwhile, Tony runs out of bullets, and when he checks the private team's bag for bullets, he finds a bag full of money there. But at this moment, Tony leaves the money and takes out bullets from another bag and starts fighting the terrorists again. By now, Brod also turns the plane to the right side. Now the private team soldiers also start boarding the plane one by one, and Tony gives them cover fire. Because the power is back, the radio also starts working. Now the plane company owner tells Brod that he will tell him a safe place where he can go. Now everyone boards the plane, but Tony doesn't. He takes the bag full of money and starts running away from there because if he goes back in the plane with him, the police will catch him again and put him in jail. The gang leader goes mad with anger seeing his companions dying. He brings a rocket launcher in front of the plane, thinking of blowing him up in one go. But Tony spots him at the right time. Tony quickly picks up a gun, shoots him dead, and saves everyone's lives. Brod is very happy with Tony's action. Brod uses all his strength and manages to fly the plane. Seeing this, Tony is happy for all the passengers and Brod, and runs into the jungle with the bag full of money. Brod takes the plane away from the island, and the plane's owner tells him about an airport they could go to, which was now quite close to them. Brod takes the plane towards the location told by the airline company owner. But then the plane's engine catches fire once again, and the plane starts to fall apart. So Brod turns on the emergency warning again and slowly tries to bring the plane down onto the runway. Finally, with great difficulty, Brod lands the plane on the runway, and everyone's lives are saved. Brod and his co-pilot partner become very happy. The plane company owner and his team were also very happy. Brod goes to the back to check on the passengers and sees that everyone is safe, which gives him peace of mind. All the passengers standing there start applauding Brod and thank him. Soon after, the rescue team also arrives there, which makes all the passengers happy. Brod sends all the passengers with the rescue team, and the captain finally sits on the plane's stairs, taking a sigh of relief, and talks to his daughter on a call. The story ends here. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.